Okay, we're actually going to analyze how riders use their energy on the track and what parts tire them out. We got Justin Brayton here. You're a veteran. Okay, so this track here at Anaheim too, let's analyze it. There were tight turns after the start, and you're telling me that those actually take more energy than big jump combinations.
Yeah, I believe that big jump combinations, for me anyways, that's where I'm kind of resting. You're getting a lot of air time. You can kind of take some deep breaths in the air.
Yeah.
I think what tires most people out, and I think a lot of riders would agree, is when the track gets really tight and there's a lot of corners back to back, where you go whoops into a corner, into a rhythm where you're sitting, standing, sitting, standing. Specifically tonight, after the start, you do a rhythm, which was pretty basic. You go right, a triple, you're resting there, and then when you go left, you've really got to time those whoops. They were actually pretty tricky, even though they were short. But then you go inside into some ruts, and then you go single. You basically do 3 singles. That takes some energy to go fast anyways.
I see.
And then you turn again, and then there's a single, double, single into a set of whoops, like stuff like that, where you're really having to rush to be fast, be aggressive, go from sitting to standing, sitting to standing, and try and absorb it like a BMX bike. I think that's really where we get fatigued. The big rhythms, to me, that's especially when you have a long rhythm lane. Yeah, it's almost just like resting.
Okay, so when you got through that section, that elevated turn, the whoops, by the time you get to the end of all that, is your breathing almost a little heavier? Is your heart rate almost a little higher than it was before you got to that section?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And then you go right and hit the triple.
Yeah, and then it starts coming back down?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. For me anyways, I'm more comfortable doing the bigger stuff, the bigger jump combinations.
Right.
Through rhythm lanes, I tend to be more comfortable, so I would say my heart rate's coming down.
Okay. Are there certain parts of the track you almost pick to breathe or get energy back, or are you just going for it the whole time?
I think it's just purely on instinct.
Yep.
I think now doing it so long, it's purely on instinct. I never really think about, all right, I need to breathe off this jump and this jump and this jump, and we don't really have a plan for that.
Okay.
But for sure, when you're in the red zone and you're pushing so hard, like the first main tonight, that was a really, really intense moto, and at one point it's like you just know, so off a triple or whatever it may be, you just kind of take a deep breath and gather yourself back up and get back to it.
Okay, if we had a 20-minute race, you guys are going fast. It's not like we see you guys pacing yourselves. But is there a little something you're not using because you know you've got to do it for 20 minutes? And if it was a 1 lap or if it was an 8-minute, you can go a little bit harder? Is there reserve?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. And you tap into that when need be. If you need it the first 5 laps, you throw down, and then maybe you can get into a groove, you can get into a flow. That's what a good start will do, is you throw down, you're in the red zone. But once you get in a groove and your body kind of settles down a little bit, sometimes you even pick up the pace because you are in that groove. But if you're in the back of the pack, if you're battling, I feel like your heart rate never really comes down, so you got to pick your battles.
I see.
But it's not like it's just a complete 100% all-in sprint for the whole 20 minutes.
So if you just did 1 lap, maybe in qualifying, you could do 1 lap with a quicker time than you probably could any 1 lap in a 20-minute race?
I think you could tap into it and get it there a few times.
Yep.
But to do it 23 laps, I don't think is realistic. Even if you whole shot it and just the track goes away, you start to make little mistakes. And then mistakes will spike your heart rate, so you kind of need to gather it back up. And I don't know anyone who's really ever done a completely mistake-free Supercross. I mean, if you did that, that's
23 laps.
Yeah, that's just hard to do.
Right.
That's the goal, but I mean, that's really hard to come by.
Right. Okay, so if you're doing like on-offs or landing a triple or anything like that, that's not like doing a full squat. Like the bike's doing a lot of that, and you're just kind of flowing with it.
It is kind of doing like a half squat, but the bike's doing a lot of it. And for me, I get over the front of the bike a lot, so I'm not it's not like I'm doing a wall sit where I'm just my legs are just on fire. So there's definitely different angles of your body that you can use, but that's why honestly arena cross is tough sometimes. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, arena cross is easy, this and that," but
because they're short races.
Because you're short and you got the whoops straight into a turn, rhythm straight into a turn, double straight into a turn. It's just always coming at you. You don't have the long straightaways like Supercross does. So sometimes the tighter tracks, especially baseball stadiums, for us can be more tiring than the football stadium.
Yeah, last week we just had long rhythm, turn, long rhythm, long turn. Not what you'd think. That's why we asked. See?
Yeah.
Good stuff.